Hello everyone, welcome back to Greedy Pete's Garage. I'm your host, Greedy Pete, and on today's episode, we're going to be getting this Crown Vic body off the frame and getting ready to get that cab onto the new chassis. So as you can see, this is not that white Grand Marquis that you saw in the last couple videos. The funny thing is that footage was actually shot last summer, but I've been in school this past year and I'm finishing up, so that's where I've been. There was actually some old footage, just you know how things get, school gets in the way and whatnot. But this is the new frame. I figured I'd pick up this car instead, since the other one was just a little too nice. I actually got the body ready to lift off. I figured to save the boring stuff. I removed all the bolts, and then I also started pulling some of the pieces that I might want to incorporate into the new cab, because I'm trying to make this truck as serviceable as possible, not having to really try and source old parts or having to refurbish it as many old parts as I can. I want to drive this vehicle and I want to try and utilize new parts that are easily accessible at any big box Autoport store. So I cut out the part of the firewall where the brake booster as well as the column and the pedals mount. I figured try and save some of this. I think I'm definitely going to use the master. I might want to try and adapt that brake pedal to this master, but I did save the pedal as well, so I have options, and that's the biggest thing with these builds, is trying to keep your options open and looking at different problems in a new way, because there's not always one solution for one problem. You can go many different ways, so that's what I kind of wanted to do with this. So I'm going to set this up on a time lapse and we'll get this body off and ready to go off to scrap. Look at this. We have great success. We got the body off of the frame and onto the trailer. I just got to strap that down and then I'll take that off to scrap. And then let's take a better look at the frame. I'm really happy with this purchase. We're not going to be using the 4.6. You guys will see that on a future episode on what we're gonna be putting into this frame. But overall, I mean, most of it is just surface rust, and it's in pretty good shape. I'm leaving the exhaust right now because I wanna make my own exhaust, and this gives me a nice template to create a easy X pipe or an H pipe, whatever I decide at the time. But overall, pretty happy with the general outcome. Got back from the scrapyard, got rid of the Crown Vic body. It's actually kind of a pain to get rid of, but that's okay. We're back, and I just test fitted the cab for the first time, and surprisingly, it fits very well. I know that probably most of you have seen the couple episodes of Hot Rod Garage where they did the exact same type of build, and sure enough, what they were talking about with that mounting hole in between the two factory body mounts of the Crown Vic was almost spot on. It needs to be shifted a little bit right to the left to make sure that it's all square, and as well as in the rear, it's hitting under on the one cab brace underneath for the floor, which is we'll cut that out and then box it back in so it's still strong and safe, as well as right in the rear you can see it's starting to kind of do a line on where I need to cut for the back. But overall, it's working out pretty well. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to now lift the cab up, and we're gonna cut out those problem spots and then see how well the cab actually sits flush. And we'll go from there. As you can see, I got the back parts of the cab cut out, and I started working on the front mounts. I cut out some plates. I'm working on the second one right here, and I figured I would make the plates and tack them into place, and then locate my cab left and right, front to back, with the front clip, and make sure that everything lines up, because the last thing I want to do is get everything welded into place and set into place, and then realize that my measurements are off, or I screwed something up. So we're just tacking everything into place, getting everything rough fitted, rough cut, and then at the very end we will come back, clean everything up, patch those cutouts in the back, and then final weld everything in. So everyone, I kind of made a little mistake here. I haven't necessarily been filming very much during this process because I am brand new to YouTube, so sometimes I'm stuck in my old ways and I just get into my work zone and I get going at it, and I always forget to pick up the camera. So right now I'm going to do a little catch-up portion for you. I haven't made too much more progress. I've just been very, very, very busy with school and pretty much just life getting in the way. So, but we're back at it, and today hopefully I will be finishing up getting the front cab mounts completely tacked into place. So as you can see, I got the front clip in, or attached I should say, and then I had to trim out some of the inner fenders here. I trimmed out too much on this side, but I saved the cutoffs so that I can come back and patch in what I accidentally cut out too much of. So I got that all there, and then I cut the exhaust off because I planned on just making a whole brand new exhaust there. And then I made these plates here, and these are actually for the front cab mount. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this cab up one last time, bolt those plates to our front cab mounts, and as you can see, I got some new bushings. Those are actually from Energy Suspension. I will actually, here, I think I have the part number here, but they're basically, Energy Suspension is also Prothane, any of the polyurethane. Oh, Energy Suspension, yeah, there we go. So here's the part number for my cab mounts, and they're very, very nice. They're actually a two-piece design. They're actually a two-piece design. So I have the bottom half sitting underneath the cab right there. But normally it gets sandwiched in, and there's a collar in there that goes like this, but I removed that because I have 3/4 bolts to mount the cab on there, because I want this cab to stay in place and not have any issues at all. So I basically just got that, decided to go with a 3/4 bolt instead of a 1/2-inch bolt. I figured just a little bit more, that might be a little bit better. So right now I'm going to be pulling the cab off one last time, bolting those plates into place, setting it down, tacking it into place with all of my measurements, and then we'll start working on the back cab mount. Okay everyone, so it's been a couple of weeks since that last clip that you just saw of me tacking in the front cab mount. Basically, I have been super busy finishing up school. I am officially educated, graduated, so yay, congrats on me. But in that meantime, I have been getting some work done just to keep on making progress. I'm sorry that these uploads have been so far in between each other, but basically a little update on what I have done. I have tacked in the front cab mounts, and then I have also tacked in our rear cab mount. I have completely finished this up. Basically, I used some 2x3 rectangular tube, 11 gauge wall, really nice stuff, and then I took a blueprint that I found on the Full Frame Crown Vic Swap page on Facebook. I'll link that below. It's an awesome page, awesome group of guys, very informative. But I took that blueprint, that PDF, and then I took some basic measurements off or from that. The big one that I took from that was the 24 inches on center, okay, between the two back cab mounts. I then cut a piece of that rectangular tube, 36 inches in length, marked my 24 inches on center, and then created some legs for to connect to the frame. And basically, I'll put a little note on the screen of the angle in between from, you know, this angle right here, so that if you want to replicate this, you can. That will pretty much all depend on, you know, how high your body mounts are, you know, what you're using. Again, I use that Prothane or Energy suspension, excuse me, same company but different brand. Those body mounts to lift up my cab, so those measurements will be a little bit different. Again, that's the way it goes with these types of projects. Everything's not the same, even if you're doing the same thing across the board. But basically, I did not weld anything in at this point, simply because I'm gonna be having this frame sandblasted, and then we're going to either use a product called Raptor Liner. It's a bed liner coating, but it's a 2-part epoxy, so it's really tough stuff. It's good stuff. Or I'm even gonna maybe go a step ahead and have it powder coated. But basically, I want to have the frame completely sandblasted, and then at that point, I'm going to do all of my final welding, because we do have a lot more fabrication ahead of us, and I am so excited for it. Basically, we're going to have to start making some bed mounts, which I'm getting ready to cut up. That's going to be our next video, so be on the lookout for that. And that pretty much is all I have for you today on this episode of Greedy Pete's Garage. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that little ring, that little bell, so that you always know when I'm posting, because I will be posting a lot more since I'm done with school. I'm getting my life back together. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want even more content, follow me on Instagram, okay? My Instagram handle is TheRealGreedyPete. With underscores. I'll put that up on the screen, as well as link it below down in the description. So make sure that you subscribe, follow me on Instagram for some more content, and as always, stay greedy. Greedy Pete out.